को नाम लोके पुरुषार्थ सारवेद पुरा कथानां भगवत कथा सुदाम आपीय कर्णांजलिर्भवापहाम अहो विरज्येत विना नरेतरम को नाम लोके पुरुषार्थ सारवेद पुरा कथानां भगवत कथा सुदाम आपीय कर्णांजलिर्भवापहाम अहो विरज्येत विना नरेतरम। Kaha, who, Nama, indeed, Loke, in the world, Purusha Ardha, goal of life, Saravet, one who knows the essence of, Purakatanam, of all past histories, Bhagavat, regarding the personality of Godhead, Katha Sudam, the nectar of the narrations about the personality of Godhead, Apiya, by drinking, Karna Anjalibihi, by oral reception, Bhava Apaham, that which kills all material pangs, Aho, alas, Virajeta, could refuse, Vina, except, Naraitaram, other than the human being. Translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Who, other than one who is not a human being, can exist in this world and not be interested in the ultimate goal of life? Who can refuse the nectar of narrations about the personality of Godhead's activities, which by itself can deliver one from all material pangs? Please repeat the translation. Who, other than one who is not a human being, can exist in this world and not be interested in the ultimate goal of life? Who can refuse the nectar of narrations about the personality of Godhead's activities, which by itself can deliver one from all material pangs? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The narration of the activities of the personality of Godhead is like a constant flow of nectar. No one can refuse to drink such nectar except one who is not a human being. Devotional service to the Lord is the highest goal of life for every human being, and such devotional service begins by hearing about the transcendental activities of the personality of Godhead. Only an animal or a man who is almost an animal in behavior can refuse to take an interest in hearing the transcendental message of the Lord. There are many books of stories and histories in the world, but except for the histories or narrations on the topics of the personality of Godhead, none are capable of diminishing the burden of material pangs. Therefore, one who is serious about eliminating material existence must chant and hear of the transcendental activities of the personality of Godhead. Otherwise, one must be compared to the non-humans. Presents the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 3rd canto, 13th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam entitled The Appearance of Lord Varaha. Nama Om Vishnupada, Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamy Nityanamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravane Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So while ending this chapter, the importance of practicing devotional service has been elaborated or pointed out. So if you don't take this opportunity, if you don't utilize this facility, it is said we are not even human beings. Said, Ko nama loke purushartha saravit. Who is that person who in this world who does not aspire for this ultimate goal of life? Purushartha, ultimate goal of life. Saravit, because he knows the essence of everything. Saravit. Pura katanam Bhagavad Kata Sudam. There are many histories. Pura katanam. Many analogies, many histories, and many stories are there. But Bhagavad Katam Sudam, of all of that, the nectar of the Krishnas are Lord's pastimes. Lord's devotees' pastimes. Bhagavad Kata Sudam. Apiya Karnanjalbir. Apiya, to drink. How do we drink the pastimes? Through the ears. Karna Anjalbihi. We drink water with folded hands. So here, with upraised ears, we drink that nectar. Karna Anjalbihi. Bhavapaham, and cross over all these material pangs. This, when you hear through your ears the pastimes of the Lord, Bhavapaham, we can cross over all these material pangs. But aho virajyeta vina naretaram. Only a person who is not a human being does not have taste for this perspective of devotion, ultimate goal of life. He is not interested. Say, non-human being is not interested. Other than this, our person in the animal status is not interested in hearing about these pastimes of the Lord. So in the purport, Prabhupada explains, the narrations of the activities of the Lord is like a constant flow of nectar. Bhagavad Kata, Sudam, it's a nectar, constant flow. And devotional service to the Lord is the highest goal of life for every human being. So devotional service is the highest goal, and such devotional service begins with hearing about the transcendental activities of the Lord. Bhakti starts with Shravanam. Then comes Kirtanam. So only an animal or a man who is almost an animal in behavior can refuse to take an interest in hearing the transcendental messages of the Lord. Only unfortunate people develop no taste for this hearing. So there are many books of stories and histories in the world, but except for the histories of narrations on the topics of the Lord, none are capable of diminishing the burden of material pangs. So anything to material world, they increase only our bondage. Only topics concerned with the Lord can reduce our bondage. Like for example, we read some suspense thriller. We read some comedy. It is time pass. But what benefit do we get? It starts us preparing our mind to think in that way, to act in that way, to look in that way. Everything you see in that dimension only. Because it's like it is training your mind in that perspective. If you see too many serials, what happens? Too many Sas Bahu serials, you see what happens? Huh? Headache. That is one outcome. Now you always would like to pick up a fight with other person. Sas Bahu means it's always quarrel. Even when there is no situation, you will try to make a quarrel out of it. If you see too many Korean dramas, there is something called as K-drama. Many people are fond, now they have left Indian drama, they are going to Korean drama. And then there are many, now reels are coming. People who are addicted to this Korean drama, they start speaking Korean language. See what happens, our mindset is becoming attracted by that. So we start developing that kind of inclinations. But whether these inclinations will deliver us from the cycle of birth and death, that's the point what we are understanding. But when we hear about Lord's devotees, that pastimes, we also come to their inclinations. How they were serving the Lord, how they were very serious in performing their own bhakti to the Lord, service to the Lord. how their mood was of preaching. So we will develop that inclinations. Etama, like what is that? Sangat sanjayate kama. By association we develop desires. So this verse specifically is saying we have to utilize this human form of life to associate with these topics concerned with the Lord. Or else we are wasting this human form of life and we are simply, it is considered as animal life. Even though we are in the human form, we are treated like an animal. Or man animal. Narapashuhu. So Bhagavatam, a couple of places, it says the importance, everywhere it says, what is the ultimate goal of life? See, Pandavas, they are pure devotees of the Lord. One speciality about Pandavas was, Narada Muni questions Lord Krishna. See, Pandavas had worshipped you and they had served you so sincerely, but they have been bombarded with problems after problems. From their birth till the last moment, there was never a time they can say that we are free from problem. Always some issue or the other issue. But what is that special thing in them? They have never ever even questioned you, even though you are always with them. Why me? They never questioned Lord Krishna. And Lord was also next to them, and he also never wanted to say, okay, you sit down, I will take care. So what is so special? By their devotional service, they have conquered the rod. But still, problems are always there. So that is the uniqueness of the devotional perspective of the devotees. Lord also tests to bring out the best, so that they become exemplary characters for the future world. See, not that always our life is like a bed of roses. Rose flowers also come with thorns. We want rose flower also, somewhere the thorn will get pierced to us. So we have to be ready for everything. Sometimes we do as an etiquette on Ugadi day. What is so special? What do we eat? Ugadi Pachadi we eat. What is so special in Ugadi Pachadi? Means what? What it means to me? Huh? 6 types of? What does that mean? Okay, eating is okay. I am tasting all these things. Spiritual significance. What is that spiritual significance? The life is a combination of all the 6 categories of emotions. Happiness, distress, sad, like various emotions. These are all 6 kinds of emotion which we go through. And we have to treat them equally. Not becoming, when you are happy, you jump like a madman, and when you are sorrow, sit in the corner and cry like a shy person. No, you have to treat them equally. Life is a combination of all these 6 kinds of emotions. What happens is, we have been trained in such a way that we forgot what is the point what we are being trained. We are only simply interested in that material perspective. They give one example. A scientist was experimenting on monkeys. So, in a cage, there are around 10 monkeys. There is one ladder. On the top, there was one bunch of bananas hanging. So, when the monkeys see banana, what is their natural inclination? They would like to eat. So, if any monkey tries to climb the ladder to take the banana, they hit all the monkeys with water guns. Understood? They don't punish that one monkey only. They punish all the monkeys with water guns, jet guns, you know, no? With water, heavy force water, they beat all the monkeys. So for 1 week, they have been trained in this way. If any monkey tries to go, what the next time, the other 9 monkeys will pull him down and start beating him. Now after 1 week, 15 days, when the monkeys are fully trained, now they started replacing one monkey with a new monkey. Every day, one monkey was removed, old one, and new one is placed. As soon as the new one comes, What it will think? Are foolish people, bananas are hanging there, you are not even endeavoring to go. So, it doesn't know that if he tries to go, everybody will get beating. So, what they do? This monkey, when it tries to go, the 9 will pull him down and start beating. So, in 10 days, 10 monkeys are replaced. After 10th day, all are new. Now, if anybody wants to go, they will naturally pull and they beat. They don't know the consequences. So, we all have been trained in this perspective. We are doing only external things, but we are not understanding the thread, what it is, the spiritual perspective in that activity. So, devotional service is such an activity that we see external elements something and internal reasons are something. So, in Bhagavatam also, when Pandavas, when they left for this spiritual world, they renounced this world with, when they were emperors, full opulences, they renounced everything. So, when you hear that chapter at the end, the concluding of that chapter, it says, Yash Shraddha etad Bhagavat Priyanam Pando Sutanam iti Samprayanam Shunoti alam swasti ayanam pavitram labdva harau bhaktim upayati siddhim. Like when you hear about these devotees, Yash Shraddhaya etad, those with faith, Shraddhaya etad, Bhagavat Priyanam, the devotees who are Pando Sutanam, the sons of Pandu, who are very dear to the Lord, Bhagavat Priyanam, iti Samparayanam, how they have quit this life and they went back home, back to Godhead, their prayanam, Samprayanam, to the spiritual world. Shunoti, one who hears. Alam swasti ayanam, he achieves all auspicious things. Swasti ayanam, all welfare activity, all best things will happen to ayanam. And pavitram, all these pastimes are very pure. Swasti ayanam, very auspicious. Labdva harau bhaktim, they achieve devotional service to the Lord. When you hear devotional service to the Lord, you achieve upayati siddhim, and you achieve perfection also. When you hear about the devotees' pastimes, how they have quit this material world and how they have went back home, back to Godhead, you will achieve the ultimate goal of life also. Labdva siddhim, ultimate goal of life. So similarly, when Prithu Maharaj, in the 4th canto, he was blessed by Lord Vishnu by saying that he will get an opportunity to interact with Sanat Kumara. So Sanat Kumara, when he visited him, Prithu Maharaj served him, received him very nicely, washed his feet. Then generally when you see a great personality, it is always advised for us to take their association. So Prithu Maharaj was serving them and he was taking his association by inquiring about things which are beneficial for the whole world. So what was his questions and how Sanat Kumara answered? We will see here. Tadaham krita vishrambha suhrudo vas tapasvinam sampruche bhava etasmin kshema kena anjasa bhave. He is saying, therefore, tadaham krita vishrambha, I am completely assured. Suhrudaho va tapasvinam, because you are the friend, and for tapasvinam who are suffering in this material pangs, sampruche bhava etasmin, we wish to inquire from you, sampruche bhava etasmin, in this material world, kshemaha, which is the ultimate reality, kena anjasa bhaved, and what is the means by which one can achieve it without any delay. So I would like to inquire from you, how in this material world, I am completely assured that personalities like you are the only friends for persons who are in the blazing fire of material existence. You are the only suhrudaha, bhava etasmin tapasvinam, we are all suffering in the material pangs, in this material world. So, I therefore ask you, samprache, how in this material world, Jai Shri Radha Govinda, kshemaha kena anjasa bhavet, how can we achieve the ultimate goal of life very soon? Anjasa, it's not like so many lifetimes, which is the fastest way how one can achieve the ultimate goal of life. And Vyaktam atmavatam atma Bhagavan atma bhavanaha Swanam anugraheyamam Siddha Rupi Charatiyataha. And they were glorifying the Lord by saying, the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan Atma Bhavanaha. The Lord is very anxious to elevate the living entities, to take back home, back to Godhead. Is the first principle of the Lord, why He is appearing in this material world. To revive devotional service. So He is very much interested in liberating the living entities because they are His part and parcels, and Swanam Anugraheyamam, and for their special benefit. What does Lord do? Siddha Rupi Charati Ajaha. The Supreme Lord, who is unborn, Siddha Rupi, in the form of liberated personalities, Charati, He roams around this earth in the form of great personalities. Vyaktam Atmamatam Atma, who are very difficult to be perceived. Lord is very easy to be perceived. It's very difficult for the Lord to be perceived. So Lord accepts the role of great devotees, and on behalf of the Lord, these great devotees roam around this earth to propagate the glories of the Lord. So you people are such a glorious person. You are like representing the Lord in this material world. So after hearing this question, Sanat Kumara said, Sadhu Prishtam Maharaja. Your question is very glorious, Sadhu, very glorious, whatever you have asked. Sarva Bhuta Hita Atmanaha, because you want to benefit all living entities by your question. Sarva Bhuta Hita Atmana. Bhavata Vidusha Chapi. We know you are Vidusha, you are very expert in this subject. You are not a common man, you are an empowered personality. Bhavata Vidusha Api. Sadhunam Matir Idrishi. But such intelligence befitting your position, Matir Idrishi, is the behavior of a sadhu. Even though the sadhu knows all the details, but for the benefit of the whole world, they inquire. So this is, your mentality is like the great personalities like sadhus. Because you are a Vidushi person, you are expert in this subject, you are an empowered personality. And further they continue. Sangamaha kalu sadhunam. Whenever there is a meeting of sadhus, transcendentalists, Sangamaha, kalu sadhunam, of various sadhus, Ubayesham cha sammataha, where some speaker is there and one audience is there, and when they are both in sync about the subject, speaker and the audience, yet sambhashana samprashnaha, the talks what they discuss, the questions what they put, what the answers they get, and the hearing about the entire subject, yet sambhashana, the discussions, conversations, samprashnaha, the questions and the answers, sarvesham vitnotisam. So if somebody hears to this discussion in this meeting of these sadhus, what happens? Sarvesham, all the people, vitnotisam. So everyone will have beneficial for everyone's real happiness. So when you hear these conclusive statements of questions and answers, it is beneficial for everyone. And further it says, Asti eva rajan bhavato madudvishaha padara vindasya gunanu vadane. Oh my dear Rajan, oh my dear King, Asti eva, we know for certain, Bhavataha, yourself, Madhudvishaha Padara Vindasya Gunanu Vadana. You are very much inclined to hear about the pastimes of the Lord. Madhudvishaha. And you are very much inclined or attached to the lotus feet of the Lord. Padara Vinde. Gunanu Vadana, pastimes of the Lord, description of the pastimes of the Lord. You are very much inclined about the subject, we know. Ratir Durapaha, such attachment to the Lord is very rare. It's not easy. Attachment to the Lord is very rare. And Naistiki, and it is unflinching. That devotion, what you have is unflinching. Vidunoti Kamam Kasaya Malam Antaratmanaha. When you hear about these pastimes about the Lord, in that association, what will happen? Vidunoti, it cleanses what? Kamam, the lusty effects, Kasaya, which are the impurities. And malam means all the kasayam, malam, which are the unwanted impurities within the heart. Where are these unwanted things situated? Antaratmanaha, in the core of the heart. All these unwanted things are there. The hearing about the Lord cleanses all these things. Then what happens? And after cleansing, Shastreshu iyani eva sunishito nrinam. For all the human beings, Shastreshu iyan eva sunishchitaha. It is firmly concluded in all the religious scriptures. For whom? For all the people in general. Runam kshemasya sadriyad vimarsheshu hetuhu. Kshemasya, the ultimate goal of life for all welfare of for the human beings, and after due consideration, sadryig vimarsheshu. It's not that simply they have concluded. After due analyzing, deliberation and conclusion, what? The hetuhu, what is the cause? Asanga atma vyatirikta atmani. Bodily attachment to the Lord is the basis of bondage. So we have to become detached from this basic of bodily concept of life. And drudaratihi, you should have strong attachment. Detachment from matter and drudaratihi, strong attachment to Krishna. Brahmani nirgune chayaha. That Supreme Lord who is absolute truth, transcendental, and who is beyond the modes of material nature. To him we have to have that strong attachment, and we should have complete detachment from material bodily concept. So this is the conclusion of all the scriptures about the ultimate goal of life. So the perspective is we have to become detached from this material world. So there was one perspective, we all know about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So we all see that he had accepted sannyasa. So why did he accept sannyasa? What was his reason? So, tolerate. Pleasing means tolerate. Explain to them. Teach them. And we are not supposed to expect respect from others. Amanena manadena. Now, for preaching purpose, you can also preach. Grihastha also can preach. Why only sannyasa? Huh? They will also hear, but whether they will follow or not. We will also hear from everyone. Hey, हर कोई क्या सुनेंगे, but follow करेंगे. So these are something called external reasons and something called as internal reasons. So Acharyas explain what are the internal reasons of Sannyasa lila of the Lord. So Lochan Das Thakur and various, it's a compilation of various Acharyas. What was the mood, it says. So Lochan Das Thakur, he says in his Chaitanya Mangala, Aneka rahasya kati, Aneka rahasya kata kahiba tahale. Vairagya adbhuta prabhura ute yenamate. So I am going to explain to you so many secrets, which are such as the secrets of the Lord's wonderful renunciation. And Chaitanya Bhagavata also says, Yaha hete apanara parabhava hoya, sai bada gopya loka kahara na kaya. The Lord is conquered by love, and this is a great secret. A secret the people of this world who do not understand. So how do you conquer the Lord? Lord is conquered by love. Sada muktopi baddhosmi bhaktena sneha rajjubihi ajitopi jitoham ter avashopi vashikritaha. I am actually ajitaha, unconquerable. But jitopi, I become conquered. How? Sada muktopi baddhosmi, I become bound up. Bhaktena sneha rajjubihi, by the rope of love of my devotees. So, by the devotion of my devotees, I become bound up. Even though I am eternal, free, independent, but still I become bound by devotees' love. So, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami also says, Prema rasa niryasa karite aswadana raga marge bhakti loke karaite pracharana. The purpose of sannyasa lila, he says, Rasika Shekara Krishna Parama Karuna Yei Dui Heitu Haite Ihara Udgama. So why did the Lord appear in this material world? The Lord's desire to appear in this world is for two reasons. To Prema Rasa Niryasa Karite Aswadana. He wanted to taste the sweet essence of mellows of love of Godhead. Prema Rasa Aswadana Then raga marke bhakti loke karite pracharana. To preach the people on the process of love of Godhead. Raga marke, spontaneous love of God. To preach to the whole world. Thus he is supremely jubilant, Rasika Shekara, Parama Karuna, most merciful person. Ei diyu hetu haite ihara udgama. For these two purposes, the Lord had appeared in this material world. Bhava grahanera hetu kaila dharma stapana, tara mukya hetu kahi suna sarvajana. So to accept ecstatic love is the main reason he appeared and re-established the religious principle for this age of chanting of the holy name. I shall now explain the reason. Everyone please listen. Ei vasche yaiche Krishna prakatya karana asura samhara anusanga prayojana. Ei mata Chaitanya Krishna purna Bhagavan yugadharma pravartana nahe tanra kama. Just as these desires are the fundamental reason for Krishna's appearance, whereas destroying the demons is only an incidental necessity. Paritranaya sadhuna vinasha chadushkrutam. The killing of the demons is only incidental activity. He does not even need not come for killing the demons. So for Sri Krishna Chaitanya, the Supreme Lord, the promulgating the dharma of this age is incidental. So propagation of the duty of Yuga Dharma is only incidental activity. Saka dasa pita mata ye rasa vashite vanchite sabe saki gana jane ye rasa mohita. My friends, servants, father and mother are all bereft of this mellow. Only the gopis can understand it. Guna priti tanrastane hai achar runi toma stane lokanata kahilana ami. He says, O Lokanatha, this is in one more scripture, Prema Vivarta. It says, I will tell you, Radha has such love that I remain indebted to her. Ei lagi aruna vasana diba ghaya japiba tanhara guna kahilu tomaya. So for this purpose, aruna vasana diba ghaya. So I will wear a saffron dress of separation on my body and I will sing japiba tanhara guna kahilu tomaya. I will sing the glories of qualities of Radharani. I will accept a saffron dress and sing the glories of Srimati Radharani. Tanhara yateka guna nariba sodite shatajanma ayu yadi hoya prithvite. Even though if I have hundreds of lives in this world, tanhara yateka guna nariba sodite, I will not be able to describe her wonderful qualities, even if I have hundreds of lifetimes of birth in this world. Guna prite tanrastane hayyachi runi tomastane lokanatha kahilama ami. So I am going to tell you, Lokanatha, by the wonderful qualities of her love, she has put me in her debt. I have become obliged to her. I have become runi, dead person. Jagat bhashaiba ami tanra yasha kirti tabe jani krupa more karena yemati. Singing her glories, I will flood the universe with her fame. Then she will give me her mercy. Paiba tanhara prema kandiba nayane Dulaya dushara hoya nachiba sankirtane. So paiba tanhara prema, getting her prema, kandiba nayane, I will cry. Dulaya dushara hoya nachiba sankirtana, I will dance in sankirtana with dust all over my body. Iha boli pukariya kande gauraraya. Saying this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu loudly chanted, Radha Vrindavana boli dharani lothaya. Then he was calling Radharani Vrindavana and he started rolling on the ground. So, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu repaid his debt what he had with the gopis. Krishnera pratigna eka ache purva haite. There was one promise which was made by Lord Krishna. Ye aiche bhaje, Krishna tare bhaje taiche. As a surrender, I reciprocate. Ye yathamam prapadyante. This is one condition which Lord had promised. As per your surrender, I reciprocate. Say pratigna banga hoila gopira bhajane. He could not fulfill that promise, it seems, to gopis devotional service. Tahaila pramana Krishna Srimukha vachane. Where Krishna himself said that you have worshipped me so much devotion that I could not repay you back. Please be satisfied with your bhakti. Where Krishna failed in his promise. So Krishna said, Na parayeham nirvadya samyujam swasadu krutyam vibudayushapi svaha ya mohabjam durajya geha sanankalaha samrushya tadvaha pratiyalu saduna. Krishna is saying, oh my dear gopis, I will not be able to repay my debt for your spotless service. Even within a lifetime of Brahma, vibudayushapi, your connection with me is beyond reproach. Na paraye aham. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties. Nirvajya samyujam swasadu krutyam, which is very difficult to break. It is very difficult to break. Therefore, please let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. Samvruchya tadva pratiyalu sadhuna. Be satisfied with your services. I cannot repay you back. So, in their exclusive selfless devotion to Krishna, the gopis gave everything to him. They left their homes, families, friends, relatives, husband, children, and ran to Krishna in the dead of the night. So for Krishna to repay the gopis, he had also to give up everything. So that day gopis left everything. To repay them, Krishna had to give up everything. So even his home, the association of his loving mother and his beautiful wife, how gopis left their families for Krishna, for the purpose of gopis, Krishna Chaitanya left his family. He had to have one pointed focus, vyavasayatmika buddhihi. He had to leave everything, put on saffron cloth of separation and cry in the same way how Srimati Radharani cried for him. This is the internal reason for Mahaprabhu's accepting sannyasa. In their Ekhanta Bhava, one-pointed devotion, the gopis went mad for Krishna. And by doing so, they glorified the Lord. To repay them, Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu adopted Radharani's ecstatic mood of one-pointed devotion and experienced the madness of love in separation. In the same way, Mahaprabhu repaid his debt to them and making the world aware of the depth of their love, glorified them in return. So finally, Vasudeva Ghosh, he glorifies the Lord by concluding this pastime. He says, Yadi Gaura na hoite, tabe ki hoite. If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not there, what is my situation? Kemane daritam de. How could I tolerate living here? Radhar Mahima Prema Rasasima Jagate Janalo Ke. So who in this universe would have ever learned about the topmost limits of loving mellows that comprise the glory of Srimati Radharani? If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not there, the whole world would be deprived of the love of Srimati Radharani. So in that perspective, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had accepted sannyasa to preach to the whole world how Radharani is the greatest of the devotees and how by her devotion she made Krishna bankrupt. Acharyas use this word. Krishna, even though he is Lakshmi Pati, he became bankrupt, that he could not repay the services of the gopis. So for this specific reason, Lord had accepted the sannyasa to repay the debt to the gopis. So unless we understand from the mouth of Acharyas, we just think, okay, he accepted sannyasa. There are external reasons always and there are internal reasons. So when you know these internal reasons, you will be able to appreciate more and you will be able to connect more. So I'll stop here. Any questions or doubts?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So here it was told that by hearing the narrations of the Supreme Lord, burden of the material pangs will be reduced. But if we see Acharya's lives, like Prabhupada has undergone a lot of material pangs. Even Ramanujacharya also have to flee from the kingdom due to the fear of Chola kings. So how to understand the material pangs huge burden of material pangs faced by our Acharyas, and how we also have to adopt that mood in facing our daily challenges.
So one thing is, they do not see it as a material disturbance at all. They only see this as an opportunity what Lord is giving to them to preach. Because Lord also will see, if you want to set an example, You will try with your best person whom you believe. You will not try with a new person. No? So Lord also, to set an example to the whole world, he tries with his best people. See, for a person who is in the Sthita Prajna stage, what is happiness, what is distress for him? Does he discriminate? So we are thinking as trouble, we are thinking as disturbance, but they never treat that as disturbance or trouble or anything. Because they are immersed in the service of the Lord, engrossed, not immersed also, engrossed. So in that stage, for all these things doesn't make sense to them. So this is the perspective what we understand from the life of Acharyas. So thing is, disturbances might be there, but Lord gives the intelligence not to become carried away and how to face them in a strong way. Understood? How to come out of the material pangs means how to solve the material problems also can be taken in that consideration. How to face the situations, how to come out of the situations. So Lord gives that intelligence, how to handle material world. So that also can be taken.
So whenever we also face the material pangs, we should situate
We
ourselves.
should increase
in
our faith in the Lord, depend more upon the Lord. Then things will shape up. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की
హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణవాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700. హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణవాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700. హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి